I want to start by thanking everybody for coming out. It's a pretty big day for the Spirit, but this is going to be focusing on the Washington Coalition of Women's Professional Sports, an idea that came together kind of on a whim, I think, of a bunch of different conversations all of the different teams in DC were having with each other and having with leveling the playing field. And the premise really is kind of on the fact that we haven't been working together. We want to work together. We don't know how to make it happen and make it meaningful. So to strike a balance in all of that, we had one meeting about collecting sports bras maybe in June, and somebody said, what if we form a coalition? What if we make it bigger than that one-time moment? And everybody was absolutely on board, 100%. So we started meeting weekly for a little bit, and that was a little bit crazy and ambitious on our part. But things came together in a way that I think a lot of people who work in sports understand is kind of a miracle. Not only getting together our own teams to get on board, but getting together every team that came on board so that we can turn it around, start it in Women's History Month, and start it before everybody's seasons start. So I think we're focusing a lot on what the impact is going into the future with the collection and with what we're doing with leveling the playing field. But I think there's also just a big kind of point to it, the idea that we can do something together and the idea that we can do something together for DC while supporting each other. It shouldn't be new, but it is kind of new in women's sports. And to be a part of this group it's really been an honor. It's been really incredible to see and work with so many people who want to push forward with ideas and who are willing to put in the groundwork. So while I'm very grateful for everybody who is here today, I'm mostly grateful for how much work has been put into this and how willing people have been to just go and move past a whim to an idea to something that is actually happening. So with that being said, I think Allison from the Mystics is going to speak, and then we'll have somebody from DC Shadow, DC Divas, Leveling the Playing Field, and then the mayor, and then we'll close things out. But again, just want to thank everybody for being here. It's a really big day for us on a lot of different levels. We're back at Audi for the first time since we made our playoff push. We officially have a new owner, everything's signed, and there you go. And on top of all of that, we somehow made it coincide to have every professional women's sports team in DC join us. So again, it's a miracle of timing, and we're so grateful. So Allison, if you want to take the stand, it's your turn.
Thank you, and Zoe, thank you. She's not kidding when she's talking about a miracle, and she's one of the miracle workers. There's a whole host of miracle workers that have been behind this, so thank you to everybody. I wanted to start off by just thanking my coalition partners. We're just honored to be part of this sisterhood, and it's just extraordinary to come together for a common purpose and with some shared values. And I really want to thank Level the Playing Field because it takes a special partner to be a convener. We sort of talk about herding cats, and they really were tireless in sort of bringing us all together and under this one umbrella. And they are more than just the charitable partner on this. They really are an essential part of what we're doing. I also want to thank the mayor, our ownership group at Monumental Sports, and in particular our three women owners, Sheila Johnson, Lorraine Powell-Jobs, and Michelle Freeman. And I also want to thank Michelle Kang, our new majority owner for the Spirit. These are powerful female leaders in our organizations and in our community that embody the exact principle of why we're bringing this coalition together. And we're just honored to do that here in DC and to rally around this cause here in the nation's capital. So our organizations have been committed to excellence on the court, on the field, on the pitch. We've also all been committed to championing our communities, and now here's an opportunity to do that together and to put forth a mission around inclusiveness, equity, and equality. And at the Mystics, and actually at the Spirit, we are in the District of Champions. But we also like to talk about we're in the district. We also like to talk about that we're in the District of Change, that this is where change happens, and change happens thanks to the people who live here and who work tirelessly for our community. And I want to just share with you a little bit. The data around girls in sports is just so clear. So by the age of 14, girls are dropping out of sport at a rate that is 6 times greater than boys. And so today, 40% of teen girls are not actively participating in sport. And right now, boys annually get 1.3 million more opportunities in sports than girls. Those numbers are staggering, and they're things that we need to work on. We absolutely need more girls in sports. And it's not just an issue around sports and sort of equity in sports. It's about equity of opportunity in sports and what it sets as the table for the future trajectory of girls and women. So when girls drop out of sports, they're missing out on the health benefits, both physical and mental, but they're also really missing out on some of the life lessons that we gain through sports. So things like teamwork and goal setting and winning and losing has nothing to do with our self-worth, and that the ability to brush it off is key to picking yourself back up and starting again. That pressure and deadlines are commonplace, and that we want to invite that pressure. Pressure is a privilege, and that self-excellence and team excellence are not mutually exclusive. So it is no accident that 80% of female executives in Fortune 500 companies have a background in sports. That is not a mistake. And if we want more women at the boardroom, if we want more women in the halls of Congress or in the corridors of City Hall or at the helms of our corporations, we want to encourage them to play sports to get those lessons. So this coalition collectively understands the notion of if you see it, you can be it. So role models are essential for girls and underrepresented youth, and the powerful force that we can bring to our girls to help achieve their dreams starts here. So our job in the front office, on the courts, in ownership, is to use our position to champion the opportunities for girls. So if this sports bra campaign or the future campaigns that we get involved with remove just one of the barriers that are in the way for girls not participating in sports, we are changing the trajectory of young women in our country. So we're thinking big, and we're going to do it small. It's in the beginning with the sports bra, but I think this coalition is going to make an enormous impact in our community. So thank you for your support, and thank you to our coalition partners.
So next we will have Lois Cook, who is from the Divas. The American, yes. So they're the women's professional American football team in D.C.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow, what a day, right? What a moment for women's sports all over. I'm going to speak to you from a special place in my heart because this means so much to me personally. I was that little girl who wanted to play football. It was my thing. I wanted to show that I was strong enough, I was good enough, I was capable. And when I got to school, high school, I told the coach I want to play, and I was told no. And for those who know me, this will come as a shock, but I accepted the no. I just accepted it as my reality. That was the norm. That was the thing. I just couldn't play. But I had all this energy that I wanted to give to the sport. And so fast forward, when I got to college, I kind of fell into the women's football team, and my life changed. And it was the thing about sports in general is that it's not just the physical side. It's also developing skills and qualities that you will have for the rest of your life. Things like leadership and perseverance and determination and resiliency and confidence, and the list goes on. And because of my experience with that, I knew the importance of helping to develop other athletes grow in their sport as well. And so wouldn't you have it, last year I began coaching the very high school team that wouldn't let me play. And it's not about anger or resentment or trying to prove a point. I mean, by the way, we went undefeated, okay? But what it's about is vision and representation and teaching not only young girls but also young boys that women deserve to be in sports as well, and we're good at it, and we have a lot to bring to the table. It's about that little girl who wants to impact a sport with her talent and being welcome to do so. It's about that little girl who beats the little boy in a sport, and it's not because he's weak, but she is strong. It's about, again, vision. When I was that little girl, if I had the vision of a woman on the football field, if I had a powerhouse coalition of women's sports, then I would have known that no was not the reality. That no was just, no, not right now, but I could reach further. I could keep going, and I could still strive to be the football player that I am. So again, I'm so grateful to be among these phenomenal leaders in sports overall. So grateful for this coalition, so grateful for this movement in women's sports. It's an amazing day. And I'm going to leave you with this. You might have a daughter, you might have a granddaughter, you might have a niece, an aunt, a mother. If you don't, you know someone who does have a daughter or a granddaughter. And we do this because she deserves a chance to push past her potential in sports. We do this for her. Thank you.
So next is Sam from DC Shadow. So all good.
Wow, how do you follow those two? No, we are so honored to be a part of this coalition for all of the reasons that were just mentioned. One of the things that Ultimate kind of brings to the table is this concept of spirit of the game. And it's such a powerful concept that we are excited to share with as many women and other athletes, and especially young women, to get them to realize, to that other point, that sportsmanship and competition are not mutually exclusive, right? Like, you can really honor and respect your opponent and still try to crush them on the court. And so I think that's something that Ultimate really brings to the table, and we are so excited to be a part of this coalition. The Ultimate community has really rallied around the sports bra drive. We just had the Washington area women's division club kickoff for all the club teams in the area, and we had a collection point there that was very successful. Our season opener opponent, the Raleigh Radiants, heard about it, and we're really excited to offer that game to be a collection point as well. And finally, we are really excited that through our partnership with Hanes Brand Incorporated, HBI has agreed to donate 1,500 sports bras to this initiative. So thank you, Hanes, for that. That is an incredible donation and just really sets us off on a good path to success. So thank you all. We are honored to be a part of this coalition and so excited at continuing to work together on initiatives in the future. Thank you so much.
And next is Caitlin. She works for Leveling the Playing Field, and they are our partner who is actually doing all the physical collection and then the part where we all donate them to people. So.
Hi, so good evening. As Zoe mentioned, my name is Caitlin Brennan, and I'm the Director of Operations of a nonprofit organization called Leveling the Playing Field. And some of you, it might be a new concept, just think food bank, but for sports equipment, right? We get kids primarily from under-resourced communities involved in youth sports The way that we go about doing that is just through the collection and redistribution of gently used or new sports equipment. And I have to tell you that from the community perspective, this is an incredibly big deal. Not only to have the coalition of professional women's sports teams in the region come together to heighten that visibility, to really heighten and broaden the amazing platform and product that you guys put on the field or the court day in and day out, but also to rally around this cause of sports bras and access to sports for every girl in the DC region. So again, this sports bra collection drive, it's not a minor thing. I can tell you, coaches, athletic directors, people who work within the youth sports community, this is one of the most in-demand items that we hear about, season after season. And really to align with the coalition around this collection drive, we're going to expand access in ways that we hadn't considered. So again, on behalf of the entire Leveling the Playing Field team, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Please keep doing what you're doing on the pitch, on the field, on the court, beyond. And we're just so appreciative to be here with you all tonight. Thank you.
And then our last speaker, we're super, super grateful to have you and to have your office's support behind us, is Mayor Bowser.
Well, hello, everybody. I am really excited to be here tonight. I'm excited to be in Audi Field, to look at our beautiful Frederick Douglass Memorial Bridge, and to talk about women getting together, organizing around sport. That is incredible. I know you already know that we're the District of Champions, right? And I want to congratulate personally the Spirit on winning the NWSL championship. They, of course, joined the Washington Mystics in being champions from Washington, D.C. I want to thank the Mystics. I also want to acknowledge Michelle Kang, who has become the owner in the NWSL. So give her a big round of applause, making history herself. And I'm just delighted that the Shadow and the Divas, the Mystics and the Spirit are joining together in this coalition. It is important to put a spotlight on women in sport, and it is important to keep on speaking up for equality, and it is important to keep letting our fans know that you are here and they need to support you, and we do everything possible to do that. We all know that representation matters, and when girls see women excelling in sport, they know they can do it too. When girls see that they can make a living playing their sport, they know that they can do it too. And we know that so many other life's lessons are learned in competition. And I am just thrilled. I never thought I would be a soccer mom, but it turns out I am. My daughter had her first soccer lesson last Sunday, and she's just really excited to be involved, and I'm excited to get to learn and love the sport as well. But what you're focusing on, also how we can help more kids and expand the opportunities that you have for leadership and competition and discipline and nutrition and exercise and travel and fun to more girls to collect equipment, sports bras specifically, I know can help a lot of kids. I am just grateful, Jennifer Porter and I, who leads the Mayor's Office on Women's Policy and Initiatives, we want to be a part of collecting, a part of spreading the word, and a part of supporting women and girls in sport. I know you know that we take it seriously. We made a big investment, for example, in making sure the Washington Mystics had their own home court right here in Washington, D.C. We're delighted. The Spirit, you're playing here now, right? We're delighted that the Spirit is playing now in Washington, D.C. But more than that, we've invested a lot in our fields and in our sports programs. The budget I have right before the Council of the District of Columbia adds to the number of offerings we have for girls in the Department of Parks and Recreation. Before there is a professional athlete, there's a kid with a dream who needs a court, who needs a field, who needs a coach, who needs mentors, who needs fans, and that starts at our parks and recreation facilities. We're proud in Washington, D.C. to make a huge investment in those facilities. When I grew up in D.C., it used to be that everybody went to Maryland and Virginia to play because our courts and our fields weren't up to par. Now everybody from Maryland and Virginia comes to play in Washington, D.C., and that's the way we like it. We're going to make another big investment in sport at RFK Stadium, and I'm not talking about the football team, not yet anyway. We are going to build an indoor sports complex that is going to allow our children to have access to gymnastics and swimming and indoor track and some other sports yet to be identified. Indoors and all year round. And that is the kind of investment that we know means a lot to our families, a lot to our kids, and a lot to keeping kids active in sport. So keep doing what you're doing. I know when people organize, though, it usually means that I got to do something. So make your list bold. Make your list bold when you come asking for how D.C. can support women in sports, because we want to be bold and we want to be known for that around the world. Thank you, everybody.
I just want to say thank you again for everybody for coming out. I think we've proven in the fact that we're putting all of these teams together. None of us can do it alone, and us sports teams, we can't do it alone either. So we are really focused on what we as a community of women in sports, but also a community of DC and what we can do together. So we welcome any help from anybody. We've got pretty ambitious goals on this, but I think we can do it, and we're going to be pushing hard. So, and with that, Mayor Bowser, we have something for you from the Spirit. For those who don't know, we did a community kit this year for the Challenge Cup and have our front sponsor of DC Scores on it, as well as our championship poster signed by everyone on the team. And this? Here, I'll take this. Yeah, all good.
And then it's our privilege to present to you the number. DC Scores, our friend. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for congratulations. Thank you.
And with that, we conclude the evening. But there's still a game, so more to be had.